umpire, Tim McClellan, with the bat in his hand. Now they're going to measure it across home plate.
I've never seen this.
I never have either.
I don't know what they're measuring. They might be going to call George Brett out.
Well, the Yankees win it. He's out.
Yes, sir.
Brett is out. Look. Brett is out. And
Steaming mad.
he is out and having to be forcibly restrained from hitting plate umpire Tim McClellan. And the Yankees have won the ball game 4-3. Brett is called out for using an illegal bat. Or with the illegal substance on the bat.
Like I said, I have seen this before, Frank, and Gaylord Perry just took the bat away from the home plate umpire, Jim McClellan. He's going to take the bat. They're going to take it, so they cannot take it into the American League office.
Hi, and welcome to Ward 13. What was that? And we were going to have the fantasy football show, and Gonzo was supposed to be here. Kyle's here, thankfully. So why don't we just do a two-shot of me and Kyle for a while? But Gonzo's incommunicado, as normal.
Yeah, he's with his wife and kid in Times Square.
They are?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why
He
would
might
they
have
be
lost
there
his kid.
Thanks.
I don't know.
They've
worst,
lost the kid?
They may have. I don't know. That's worst case scenario for me, though.
Is that what you're actually thinking? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. No, I'm thinking it. I didn't hear that, but
High anxiety. Right?
Kid might have just ran out. It's Times Square on Thanksgiving. It's got to be chaos down there.
I lived in New York twice. I would not be anywhere near there during a holiday season.
No, it's worst case scenario. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not. When I first lived in New York in the early '80s, it was just talk about all the crap that's going on now. It was like that. Yeah, some actor I knew, you'd get mugged.
I'm sure.
New York is fascinating, and at the time, you'd have the very rich, and then you'd go 1 or 2 blocks, and there'd be the very poor.
Yeah, they just keep building up. There's not a lot of. There's no more.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So everyone's just congregating in the same places now. So I don't know. I'm sure he's having a great time down there with his wife and kid.
But he didn't tell me. See, this is why Gonzo isn't a reliable co-host.
He's Gonzo.
Yeah, he
just does Michael stuff, So I truly don't know what he's up to right now. But last I heard, he was eating pizza with his kid in Times Square. Anything can happen.
Times Square was great when I was young. Oh man, it was so raunchy. I was in my 20s, and I'd go back to the woman from Manchester I was living with. We were living on the Lower East Side, which is really crappy. And now, it's all gentrified. And she was an Irish Catholic girl of her generation in Manchester. In other words, it was like, well, at the time they used to use the metaphor of glaciers, before the glaciers would have to melt before you would... You might enjoy yourself again.
And
of course, nowadays, they're all collapsing and stuff. So I used to go from work. I worked for Citicorp. Mm-hmm. I'd go from the building on Times Square, go to the peep shows, see some of the girl favorites.
Have a night, yeah.
No, not at night. You didn't want to be down there at night.
Oh, have a day.
That's when you get killed. Have a half hour or an hour before I get on the subway. I still have the tokens, like Peep World and all.
Well, those are novelties. You gotta have those.
They're part of my coin collection, right?
Exactly.
And then I'd go down to the Ball and Chain. She's the reason I joined the Army. It's just, sleeping with a woman next to her.
I mean, you just gotta get out.
It drives you crazy when you're 24 or 25. Yes. the church enculturated the girls well.
Yeah, I try to avoid the.
I don't know what it's like now. I'm sure, the world has changed. Except it's like my father told me. He was born in 1926. He says, every generation believes it invented sex. And he says he's at West High in 1941, before he goes off to the Navy, 41 to like 45, he says, we had cervical people were...
That's interesting.
There's a thing, the movie, Warren Beatty made a movie, Reds, based on the 10 Days That Shook the World by... that's a famous book about the Russian Revolution.
Okay.
But he had, as part of it, he had these interviews with people that were contemporaries of that time. And one was Henry Miller, the great writer, who his books were banned in the United States for 30 years for being obscene. And he's one of the people, because he knew Jack Reed. John Reed was a famous communist. He went from Harvard, then he was a journalist. And he actually died in Russia and is buried in the Kremlin. Was a friend of the revolution. And Henry Miller's there because, it's a Warren Beatty movie, so there's all this romance and stuff. And he said, and he used a much more raw Anglo-Saxon word. He said, he's talking about 1912. People are screwed as much then. They just didn't talk about it.
That's true. Well,
now you're on social media.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, social media is definitely... They're almost promoting it at this point, but I mean, I'm open to talk about it. I don't care. I do very well. It's fine. Do they stay around long?
Sweet
No.
life.
Once they learn my personality, they don't stay around long. But
my problem is I don't have any income, so I don't have any assets.
And they learn that too in the end. But
when I was in the Silicon Valley, I asked this woman that I work with, says, why won't the women here date me? She says, you idiot, they know how much you make.
Yeah, let them know that. You can get through a couple dates, and then they start to learn the real you, and that's when they get you. But you can have a couple fun nights,
Oh, California. You should, haven't you, I don't know what California, I want to go back. I probably will next year. It was the sweet life. The Sladky Zhizn in Russian. I mean, I remember coming back here. And remember, I'm younger than, I have blonde hair. I had an income.
Long blonde hair, right?
Oh, well, not so much after the Army days.
Yeah.
And, the only compliment I ever got by her looks is one girl said, and we were like twilight necking. She looks at me and says, in this light, you look kind of cute. That's the only compliment I ever had, about my looks-wise. But
You just got to find that lighting again.
In California, it's just... If you can't get laid in California, there's got to be something wrong. And within like a day or two. But I'm back here, and I was talking about California. Somebody says, I bet, you had a hard time because of the cult of, the body beautiful. That was a big
Hollywood,
thing.
all that stuff.
I said, no, not at all.
No.
I guess maybe it's the perversity of good-looking women. Because one thing I realized, took a while, really pretty women, men are afraid of them. So guys don't go up and talk to them or ask them out or do stuff.
The key is confidence, John. You got to have confidence.
So then you do, like we said, you go and have your few cuts, and then they finally, you realize, there's that multimillionaire that is interested in me, and your novel didn't get published, did it?
I'm just picking up the scraps,
Hey, that's life, huh?
It's all right. I'm not complaining. I'm doing all right. Still the tail end of my prime. It's going downhill, but
my 30s were the best time. 40s and no, let's not get into that.
All right, we don't have to.
Well, everything. That's when globalization came. So all of a sudden you lose a job to India, then you get another job that's just comparable. Then that goes. Then that job goes. Then suddenly you're on the wrong side of 50.
Yeah, and then you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, and now I was in Market Basket picking up some stuff. Geez, everybody in there is like elder, like people on Social Security now, and
Yeah, you're talking about the Elm Street one.
No, I go to the Bedford one.
Oh, smart move.
Yeah, I do go to, as long as it's not the 5th, the day we all
the
get.
5th, they literally have police there.
Yeah, that's the day we all get our EBT card gets refilled.
Yeah, it's a tough go down there. But again, people are just trying to live, I guess. But I definitely avoid it on the 5th. What are you gonna do though? You know, people gotta eat. I don't judge.
Well, and I lived in San Francisco. Nowadays, you just get a couple of hammers and a mask and just smash your way into the Louis Vuitton store. You know, you notice they were going after Target. They're going after CVS. They're looting the hell out of everything. But suddenly, they get into the really expensive stores, and suddenly, oh wow, now we gotta arrest people and felonies and that.
I mean. They're probably because they have like private security and stuff too.
Private security in California is not allowed to friggin' do anything.
Really? I have no idea. I've never lived that life, John.
Well,
I've been to California.
I've never. The closest I ever got was when I was in the Army in Texas. They gave us all a Nordstrom card. Mm-hmm. Not Nordstrom. What's the big rich bitch place in Texas? Neiman Marcus.
Okay.
So they give you a credit card. Then you walk in there, and there's a Monopoly set made out of chocolate for $500. And then there's a Monopoly set made out of gold for $10,000. The cheapest thing you could buy would be like, you know.
Who needs a Monopoly set made out of chocolate?
You're not rich.
I'm not. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's half my rent.
Remember, F. Scott Fitzgerald said the rich are different than you and I. And Hemingway, who had his second wife was rich, said, yeah, they have more money.
Well, I've never had more money. I barely have money now. And I work 60 hours at the back room and how many hours here? Not that you guys pay me here, but I would just like to hang out with you guys.
Capitalism is good. Your boat's just going to rise. You could be a billionaire in the future.
Could happen. You could be too. Who knows?
Oh, well, my last psychologist at the VA said, did you ever consider, becoming a kept man? A lot of my guys are. And I said, well, that's funny because my brother took my assessment of me when he was last here in the States, because he lives in England. Says, John, you got to find a rich widow or a widow or a divorcee, you know?
Someone down on their times.
Not that they're, you know. Hey, they're looking... yeah.
Just never give up, John. That's the moral. Never give up. There's always someone somewhere.
Unfortunately, she's going back to Russia.
Oh, go get her.
Oh, Jesus!
Get her.
I'd probably get slapped in the prison there. I'm on the list. The Soviet Union had a list of everybody that was in the military intelligence. We had to, if we wanted to go with my security clearance to go to Berlin. To go through, if you didn't fly, you could go through the corridor. There was a corridor between West Germany through East Germany, and they checked your papers. And if you had a top secret security clearance, it had to be absolutely perfect. The Americans would look at it again, because if you went over there and they saw there was any flaw, they would just detain you. And we'd bought all the things, all the Penthouse magazines, Playboy, stuff the Soviet soldiers loved. Johnny Walker Red,
everyone loves Johnny Walker.
For $5. All the cigarettes. We were going to trade it because they would trade it for all like their hats and this and that.
Right.
But they screwed up our paperwork. So we wound up in Frankfurt in an a British bar full of American soldiers who we just wanted to get away from, So I never did get into East Berlin.
But you weren't detained, though.
No, because the Americans wouldn't let us across the border because we would have got screwed. But here's a funny thing about East Berlin. There were places in the wall between West and East Berlin that you could just go into East Germany. They were there and you could go through. But somebody like me who looks like, the map of Ireland face, which looks like Americans, Anglo-Celtic, right. They call them. Because we had one guy, he was an Anglo, but he had these really stark features. So, he might look Slavic, so he just wandered
in and out.
And then he brought all this like...
Well, you need those guys,
Yeah, but he was just doing... It wasn't a mission or anything.
No, he was just doing a run.
Yeah, because it was a relief valve. I guess you could go between. But speaking of relief valves, what are you doing tomorrow?
Also
on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. I'm not working tomorrow.
Thank God.
That's a great question. I'm gonna start off as I always do at the lovely Wild Rover Pub, 7 a.m. just get a base, and then
You still have happy hour?
not during Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But yes, they do. But I think they close at 12 or 1 tomorrow, so you got to start early.
The $2 Irish beers.
That would be awesome.
Harp for $2.
Oh no, they're going to capitalize completely on tomorrow because it's going to be flooded, and I'd assume tonight as well. It's going to be nuts. So that's why I'm not really excited to go back to work after this. But yeah, then hang out with some family, and then who knows what happens after that? It's Thanksgiving. Clayton's get a little weird. Not going to lie to you.
Oh, so you'd have a Clayton family to do?
It's actually my mother's side, but then I go find my whoever's left standing from the Clayton side, and we kind of band together and figure it out from there. So maybe end up at my dad's house, maybe back at the bar. Who knows?
See, in my family, the generations now, it was my mother's generation, Thanksgiving when I was younger. Then my sister's, because my brother's always been overseas. He was retired military. And then it becomes the nieces. Yeah, so my nieces run the stuff, and I'm there. But who wants to? You know, they all have their kids now, and they talk about kids and stuff and that.
See, we're at the age now where my nieces or my cousins. I don't have nieces, thank God, Cam. No, my cousins are 18, 19 now, so there's not really any young kids running around.
They're 40. That's so weird.
I can hang around with them and stuff. Maybe I'll sneak them a beer. Maybe I won't. Sorry, Mom. But no, I don't have to worry about little kids running around and stuff anymore. So that's nice. And yeah, it's just I don't know. Family's going through some tough times, so it's nice to be together. It's gonna be a lot of help, I hope.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I was invited to some places, but I'm not going to do anything. I bought a bottle of Glenlivet 12.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I can't afford Macallan 12 and Macallan 50, which is what I used to buy. But, I'll have a few shots of good scotch. Yeah. But I have stuff to do. It's going to be the last nice day, 56 degrees.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm going to do some transplanting some plants. Because we're selling the old homestead. So there's certain things I want to move to my sister's place.
Is that where you're staying now?
That's where, they'll become my new abode for a while.
Yeah, just figure stuff out.
Until I drive her crazy yet again.
Well, as long as you got good scotch, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So, let's get to it.
You want to talk sports?
Well, no, we got a couple of things
all right,
to show.
I'm sorry.
Can we show the video D? Joe Kelly Levasseur looks like he's become transgendered. This was on the internet. I guess this was after the election, and everybody was commenting about. He looks like he's trans now. That he's making the transition.
Kind of like a Marilyn Manson thing going on there. I
don't know. I think he looks very feminine in this. And we all have our feminine side, even the most masculine guys, they might... I'd hardly say I'm the most macho guy, but whenever I see the movie The Natural, the baseball movie, that's the one movie that can make me cry.
It'll tear up a little bit?
Doesn't make, I cry. There's a scene where, he's in a slump. And, of course, Robert Redford. I always had a joke that I wanted he was very big in the 70s when I was a teenager, and another Irishman. And, he had blonde hair and all that. I always joked that I won the Robert Redford lookalike contest, 3rd class in the short and dumpy division. I always had this hype for it. It was more like Marlon Brando, but
Hey, but you still got 3rd class. That's fine. That's all. But no, I mean, I used to have hair down here.
Never below there.
No, I let it ride. But I also had the beard comes in pretty fast, pretty thick.
I can't stand having a beard. I've got one now because my shaver is went kaput. So I'm gonna, Black Friday, I'll get something.
I get some clippers.
I've had a couple beards, but they itch for me, and then I get dandruff.
Yeah, it happens, but you got to condition it too. It's weird. Get some beard shampoo, clean it up.
They have beard shampoo?
They do. There's a lot of products. I don't personally do it, but mine doesn't normally get itchy.
Mine itched.
I just don't even realize. It just shows up, and then I get rid of it.
Then it had 3 different colors, like red, brown.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of red coming in.
And then there was some blonde, but mostly brown, but then red. And then I could never really grow a mustache. So I said, this look, I'll just have to ditch it.
No, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out the look. I get a terrible haircut, so now I'm trying to grow the beard.
I give myself a haircut because why spend $7 to $10? I just do it myself. Sometimes when I first started doing it, I'd just take a swath out of it. So then you just change it, and then you come almost bald.
Well, I was gonna have a mustache, and then I shanked it, and then I was like, I can't go around with a Hitler-esque mustache, so I had to get rid of that. So now we're just growing it all out again.
Particularly nowadays, because somebody might start following you.
That's true.
Becoming your political follower.
I don't want that.
We have yet another JKL video. Because this is a political show. Can we see E? Now, come on. Joe Kelly Levasseur and the Penguin. I mean, the Penguin was running for mayor in that Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman movie, the second one with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right.
My ex-wife, by the way. But, our marriage was annulled. I tried to join the Marine Corps out in California, but I got rejected. And she was just Orange County at a Vaughn's supermarket. But I was underage, so they annulled the marriage.
That's not fair.
But
you can't stop true love.
Michelle Pfeiffer. She is Catwoman. Although I was partial to the one, what was her name? That 6-foot-tall Catwoman in the old TV series. I used to know her name. I couldn't tell you.
Is that Danny DeVito as the Penguin?
Oh, yeah. But that looks, he and Joe. Joe. Somebody told me I can't mention their name, but actually has a connection to you.
Oh, yeah?
Somewhat.
That's
not in the present, right? In the present in a way, but not anybody would associate with you. And he knew Joe Kelly Levasseur, and he told me who Levasseur really was. And I hadn't seen the movie Batman, the one with the Joker, with Heath Ledger's the Joker.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
Well, I have afterwards, but I hadn't seen it when he told me. He says, and he told me about the speech that Michael Caine, as Arthur, tells Batman, about what his character is. And it's about the speech about when Arthur was in Thailand or someplace and working for an oil company, and they tried to bribe the bandits with jewels. So they had all these jewels and precious stones. But there was a bandit that kept stealing everything. So they went into the interior, but they couldn't find any evidence of the stones and everything. And it turned out the bandit was just throwing them like into the river. And Batman says, Bruce Wayne says, why? And he says, and Michael Caine, who's great actor, says, there are just some people that want to see the world burn.
Exactly.
And that's what he told me Levasseur is. Just wanted to see the city burn. And, but I think he's more penguinish, because they look a lot alike. And in the future, I'll have to, make it more obvious. That's about it for politics right now.
That was a hot take.
Well, you have to plant a seed and let it grow.
I understand that.
The late Bill Cashin told me that.
Duly noted.
Because my idea of doing anything is just, like if you're in the Army, they tell you, the lieutenant tells you to kick the door down and shoot anybody that's in there.
That's what you do.
I'll kick the door down, right?
Yeah, just go day by day, whatever. I'm not a planner. I'm not a seed planner.
Now, that's what did me in.
Yeah, just probably start planning stuff out. It's not writing stuff out. But what are you gonna do? Still learning. Not a smart man, John. I never said I was.
Well, you seem smart.
I pretend to be. It's a facade, though. But it's got me this far. I'm here.
Hey, you're a morning show.
I'm on the morning show. I'm on TV now.
Public access TV.
It still counts.
Well,
very excited.
Let's talk about if we can zoom in on this, baby.
Very excited for that. Will you be attending?
Yeah, I'd like to. Oh, we've got the thing. Yeah, I gave him the thing.
Perfect.
It's the Miracle on Elm Street, the toy drive for Manchester kids through the Manchester Housing and Redevelopment Authority. And you can contribute in the following ways. You can drop toys off here at the building, 1045 Elm Street, room 300, suite 300. That's the administrative office. It's right next to the radio studio, but don't go into the radio studio.
No, absolutely not. We're very busy down there.
You can send a check made out to Hope, New Hampshire Incorporated and mail it to 1045 Elm Street, number 300, care of the morning show. Peter White, who's the legendary Peter White.
That's my mentor.
But you're making yourself a legend now.
I'm chipping away, buddy.
Then there's the live telethon, December 2nd, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., down right at the Bonfire restaurant, right here in Elm Street.
I will be there all day.
All day?
I might go home and take a nap. It depends when they start serving drinks, but we'll see what happens.
They don't serve drinks till 4.
We're asking Pat a lot. We keep prying with him. It's for the kids. Give us a little break.
Is there going to be an auction or anything?
I know we get a 50-50 raffle, and I think we got a couple gift baskets going out.
But no auction? I heard there was an auction, so I was going to auction off this treasure. Only used once, folks.
I'm sure we can get. We can put that in the. Again, it
costs $4.50. We'll take any price.
All right, bring it down.
Any price.
We'll bring it down.
Yes, I want all 13 of my viewers to contribute.
I mean, if anyone, I'll buy it.
See the great. I actually borrowed this from the top whistleblower lawyer in probably the world. He helped come up. Let's fight waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption together. That really went over well. I got 45% of the vote.
You're almost there.
Yeah, I came in second in a field of 2.
That's still second, though. 45%'s not bad.
Last.
It is, but it's also second. Let's be optimistic.
Yeah. What can you do? What can you do?
But no, it's gonna be a really, really great event.
Oh, it will be.
Manny's been.
I know Bill Berry would like to come on like around 3, and they're suggesting to talk about the things about what we contribute to the community. Because Bill has always been a great sports coach, and when he was a kid, he grew up in the projects. He grew up with Joe.
Oh, yeah.
When he helped protect Joe as a kid because he was older and Joe was picked on, as kids are. Not just because he was Joe,
right.
But he was picked on, probably because he was Joe too. And but the coaching and sports helped him a lot.
Absolutely.
So I'm on election day, I'm with Bill, and all these people come to campaign with Bill, and a couple of them were sports coaches, and one of them, because everybody associates Gonzo with me, they all have these weird stories about Gonzo. They come up and tell me.
I get numerous already, and I haven't even known him a year yet.
But one of them said, Gonzo was a great athlete. And we once had Bill on, and him and Gonzo were talking about the sport, the coaching, and what that means to how you give back to the communities.
It blows my mind that Gonzo was a great athlete.
I can see physically how he could be.
Well, he's got the build, but
mentally,
he's still wearing sandals and shorts. It's 20 degrees out.
Oh, you don't know the fabulous Furry Freak brothers?
I do not.
Yeah, you know who Art Crumb was?
No.
The great cartoonist. There's a great documentary. It's called Crumb. He did all. You've seen his cartoons.
I'm
it's
sure
like Keep on Trucking Baby and stuff like this. But there were underground comics in the 60s, and one of them, the Furry Freak brothers, the fabulous Furry Freak brothers in San Francisco. They were just degenerate, druggies. They'd take anything. And but in one of the panels on one of the comic books was before dope and after. So before, they're all Eagle Scouts, and they're like saluting.
Oh, yeah.
They're saluting the flag. They're young and everything. Then it's afterwards, and there's this flop, San Francisco, completely stoned,
just
and a complete dump and everything. So we don't know what he was probably eating his Wheaties, drinking Orange Tang if they had that still.
Orange Tang.
Oh yeah, Orange Tang was hot stuff when I was a kid.
I mean, I've had some Tang in my day.
Astronauts.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid when I was. They take the mother would put the Kool-Aid and then a whole cup of sugar in there.
You add sugar to the sugar. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Well, good for Michael for being a.
Before we, you know what we failed to see the other day? Let's see F.
Why can't every day be Christmas? Why can't every day be gay? Why can't every day be Merry Christmas each and every day?
There once was a Christmas that almost wasn't, all because of a man named Groom.
And now victory's mine. Do you hear that? Victory's mine. 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 A Merry Christmas, I don't think.
Wait a minute. If you are Santa, what are you doing here? You're early.
Christmas is not coming this year.
Treat your family to the happy, song-filled, magical motion picture that's almost too good to be true. Rosanna Brazzi and Paul Tripp in The Christmas That Almost Wasn't.
Now, see,
Is this?
when I was a kid, these movies would come out every year, and they'd be matinees, and they cost 75 cents, and your mother would say, why didn't you go see that movie? Here's 75 cents. You and Jerry, who's my best friend across the street, and why don't you go see that movie? Or then there was the one with the Bunny Village. You know, they would be on the 3 channels we had in that time.
Right.
They'd have all these ads for the movie, like this thing, and or then there was the bunnies in the Bunny Village. Here's 75 cents. Why don't you go see the Bunny Village? So, oh Jesus, so we go down there, and then at either the Strand, or which is burned down now, or the Palace, which was a grindhouse, they'd have like King Kong Escapes. So that's where we'd go instead, you know.
Yeah, that sounds way better.
Godzilla movies, or I can't really tell you about when we saw the 5-Man Army. That's the first time I saw nudity on screen, and it actually triggered a riot. But that's a whole story to itself.
You were there for the riot?
Oh yeah, but I was in the balcony. We could only throw like stuff.
He's still contributing to the riot.
I actually wrote about it though on Facebook. But yeah, those are part of my movie memories. But what a terrible thing to think Santa. There'll be no Christmas this year.
That was a cool looking Santa though.
I don't know.
He looked pretty sharp.
It's all dubbed from Italian except the one American actor who sings.
The main guy? I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm very intrigued.
I've never seen it either because I took the 75 cents and saw King Kong Escapes.
It's fair trade, but still, now I need to see this. The Christmas that never happened.
It's definitely on YouTube.
Oh, I'll find it. I'm very good at stealing.
Good luck.
I will find it, John. I promise you.
Speaking of classic movies, have you noticed anything about?
Oh, we got a beer now.
Yeah.
I like that.
And we don't have Gonzo.
No, we don't.
We do have Bambi Woods of Debbie Does Dallas.
Yep. She's just doing her...
fitting for a football show. So Andy Sylvia was... But he's on... You know, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so he's not calling. He's not going to call in.
I would highly doubt that. Again, we've had Carol replacing him in the morning, so I doubt Andy's going to call in, but... It's all right. He works hard.
How's he doing in the Fantasy Football League?
It doesn't matter.
Is he the commissioner?
He is the commissioner, but it doesn't matter, John. I'm number 1.
How's Gonzo doing?
He's in last place. He's not won once.
How come?
He doesn't try. At all. He doesn't care.
Does he care about football or sports?
I'm not really sure. He's a hard guy to read.
He just doesn't handicap.
We should give him a handicap.
Joel Elber could really handicap, except he had the weakness of the Jets. He's a Jets fan, and that would always screw him. But he could handicap.
The problem with Moose is he's never content with his team.
Oh, well, that too.
He has made maybe 60 or 70 moves at this point. I've made maybe 5.
Well, he handicaps games, for betting purposes. That's what I was really talking about. I never was in the football league because there was a scandal several years ago, but we won't get into that. These things happen.
Scandals, it's collusion, is what it is.
It's sports.
It is sports. No, I've toned down the gambling a little bit, but if I see a nice line, I'll definitely dive into that.
What's the big games tomorrow? College football.
I'm not a big college guy, to be honest. I'm mostly NFL. The problem with college is there's too much one and done players. Too much they can be a great team one year, and it's just too hard to keep up. Like the NFL, you got players that are signed for years and stuff, and you know who's coming in every week. College, it's too hard for me to keep track with. But I'm trying to think. I know Cincinnati creeps in the top 4. I don't really know. I honestly don't know a lot about college football.
I have to turn off my phone.
That's all right.
My alleged number 1 fan is harassing me. Heidi, stop it. The Honorable Heidi Hamer.
I love Heidi.
Jesus, I was on the show with Matt. We were talking about something. We were talking about the old pornographic drive-in in Litchfield. And how I took I went with a girl there. I guess she was a girl. I don't even know if she was 18. And well, you know, this is like 1979 or anything. They didn't have the stuff like, you know, they have nowadays, like a 4-year-old. It took me to get in the Army and go to Amsterdam and go into one of those shops and see stuff that would curl the hair I still had. Now, any 4-year-old can see stuff like that. But so it was kind of, you know, there it was. And, you know, it's like kind of an education for her. Well, she made me, we've turned that car around and left. But all of a sudden I'm doing it, and Heidi Hamer sends me, I can't repeat what she sent me. All of a sudden you're just laughing out loud. Do you ever get text messages while you're on the morning show?
Oh, absolutely.
And they're trying to throw you off.
Yeah, that's why I put it on Do Not Disturb. Silent, airplane mode.
Yeah, it was just so, what she said.
No, I just...
It was so funny. I just, Matt's talking, just couldn't stop laughing.
No, that's exactly why, because people will literally just try to mess with me, and I've learned my lesson. And don't go in the group chat or the Facebook Live, whatever it is. I don't know. Don't engage in that, because
you know,
they're trying to throw you off there too. They're trying to get you, John. Don't let them get to you. Just gotta stay focused on the task at hand. You know.
I preferred though when Matt did the radio show and you didn't have all that stuff with YouTube, because then I could talk for 25 minutes straight when he'd ask me a question that you know, should have been answered in about 30 seconds.
But you got stuff to say.
Yeah, all 25 minutes of it. I could see his eyes glaze over.
Peter would never let me do that.
He asked the question, but you know,
and
he didn't
got the answer.
Yeah, it's like asking for the time, and I told him how the watch, not only how the watch was put together, but you know, the whole history of the factory. But how do you how have you adapted to radio?
I mean, I get a lot of
How did you
help.
start on radio? Because obviously the fantasy football show's gone down the...
Yeah, that's not happening anymore. But for the
we do
record...
have Debbie here laughing at us.
Thank you, Debbie. Debbie, I'm number 1, just so you know. So I went in for... They do trivias on Wednesdays. And Matty Corshane, who's obviously running the Miracle on Elm Street, he brought me in one day. And me and Peter had met a couple times at, spoiler alert, some bars. And I kept asking to go on, and then I did, I guess, kind of well on the first show, and then he asked me to come back, and then he just...
So you were a guest?
Correct, yeah.
Because the first I heard of you, you were the co-host.
No,
Because I don't get up in the morning.
It's tough. It's definitely tough. But no, they just kept asking me to come on, and then...
Darryl decided not to...
Darryl had a lot of family stuff going on, and there was a vacancy, so then I...
Yeah, it's... you have to get up early to get there.
It's tough because...
And it's every day.
It's every day, and then I close the back room, so I don't sleep a lot anymore, but...
Yeah, you were having trouble at first, like, getting there on time, because it's difficult. One of the things Joel, you know, suddenly... Shirley, his significant other... used to work, and she'd have to open up Shaw's in Merrimack like at 4. So he'd take her down. So him and Peter are there like at 6.
Yep.
But then Shirley retired, and suddenly Joel's in his 60s. He has a very painful hip, and do I need to get up? Do I need to get up in the morning? And he was also a state rep.
That's true. That's right. He was.
Peter and I've talked about. I don't like to be alone. Where Matt can do a show
he's
alone.
Great. He's great alone.
And the other people can. But I like somebody with me. And Peter told me he likes to have somebody with him. The give and take.
Yeah, that's
and he's a master at that.
It's all about banter, and somebody you got to connect with them and stuff. But no, he's my alarm clock. If mine doesn't go off, he will give me my "Are you awake?" text every morning.
Right. And then like Joel and him had been together, and then suddenly Joel, he's not showing up as regularly.
Yeah. No, I'm consciously aware that I really need to start focusing, and so I bought a tangible alarm clock, not just my phone, and I've been substantially better the last couple of weeks. So
because Peter's been there on time to prepare that show every day for
he's
6 years.
Not even on time. He's there early.
Yeah.
He opens up Bridge Street Cafe. He's
right.
He's sitting at the door at 6 o'clock every day.
And Matt's there every day too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the show can't go on without them.
Right.
Like if I showed up, I have no idea how to work those computers and stuff.
I
make the joke, you just hit a couple buttons, flip a couple switches, you're good. And that's not how it works at all.
Oh, those microphones, they all have filters and things on them.
Oh, if you watch him, his hands don't stop moving. It's pretty impressive. So I'm trying to learn from the master.
Oh, he is. That's what I call him, the master.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, all the opportunities he's given me, and now I'm here. I help you out. I help Matt out. Whoever needs help at the studio, that's what I'm trying to do. But I try to be Peter's protege. It's my guy.
So what do you want to do?
I like doing this. I like talking on a microphone.
Have you ever thought about becoming an actor?
I don't know if I could do that. My brain isn't good at retaining
You have an
information.
actor's face, and you have an actor's voice. You know, that idiot, Fat Joe, or Ugly Joe, whatever it is. He was just going after you. That was complete crap. He attacked Kyle after we were giving him a good drubbing. And then suddenly he just started attacking you.
I am not intimidated by Angry Joe. I mean, or whatever his name is.
Ugly Joe.
Ugly, stupid.
Fat, whatever. It's crazy Joe.
He's just a grumpy old man. He says I have no personality.
I'm a grumpy old man. Well, I got my grumpy hat. Well, change because we're not doing football.
Yeah, we're not doing football. Hit him with the grumpy hat.
Okay, folks. Super Bowl 38. You can win this by telling me who won.
It was not John.
Well, it was the Patriots, but who'd they beat?
And which one was it? 38?
Yeah, 2004.
2004 was the Panthers.
Exactly right. Yeah. I thought I was gonna have to sing this. Is their son was South Carolina?
No. Well, it was.
Well, they're North Carolina, but I was thinking. Oh,
I get
wish
the Eagles
was
and the Panthers mixed up.
How dare you?
No, just the years we won.
Oh, okay.
I was still pretty young back then.
My father lived in Atlanta a long time.
He probably didn't like that game.
Well, no, he was never. He wasn't a football fan. He was a Braves fan when he was a kid, as a Boston Braves fan. Then they went to Milwaukee, and then he moved to Atlanta like in '67, and they were there in '66. So that was his team.
That was perfect.
Yeah, well, they only won once. And they'd win the division and they'd win the National League. But all of a sudden, my father's, we're not winning, and he was getting so mad. Then he hated the Red Sox from when he was a kid. Oh, they're the spoiled team. They're the country club. They're babied and all that. And that was a hard generation, the Depression generation. Then all of a sudden, he became a Red Sox fan after like 70 years as a Braves fan.
Well, did the Braves just win this year? That's correct.
Yeah. Finally, but they won 13 straight pennants, but they would blow out with all that great pitching.
Yeah, they had
maybe they just didn't have the stud.
And, Chipper Jones was there for a while. He was
a hell of a player.
Oh yeah, he was great.
But there's always some type of player, like a Joe DiMaggio or Reggie Jackson or that just takes a team all the way. Mickey Mantle when I was a kid.
It was David Ortiz for me.
Babe Ruth when he decided not to steal second base in Game 7 in 1926 and gets thrown out in the last
Babe Ruth can't run.
Actually, he could when he was younger, but he still thought he was young at that point. When you look at the young Babe, he's built like a brick, and he's slender and everything. But he loved life.
He indulged.
Stories on a barnstorming trip to Kansas City. He went to a bordello. I was going to say whorehouse, but I don't think we can use that. Yeah, well, and had all the girls. It was only 7, but
Yeah, but he liked his cigars and his drinks.
He actually did eat all those hot dogs.
A lot of hot dogs.
But he was, a monstrous specimen. He was 6'2", which is big at that time.
Right.
And Gehrig was 6'4", which was like monster. Still big. Peter White's 6'4".
Yeah,
but
not that tall. He likes to remind me.
You're getting the envy thing.
He likes to remind me every day.
Oh, Peter's never I've known Peter. Peter's exactly like a foot taller than me. He's never said anything about that.
I know him.
Because I used to drink with him, and I would be on a stool, he'd be standing next to me. You're really looking up.
It's
He's quite tall.
He's quite the specimen. But you know
he
what?
should run for alderman more.
He should run.
He'd be
in anything
like that. I know the Democrats one time wanted him to run. I don't think they ever approached him.
I don't know if he'd have the full. He's fully committed
he has
to the show.
His dream is that show.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if they'd want an
an
alderman having a radio show.
Oh, that'd be very tough for him too.
He's very careful about how he navigates like politics. And
right.
He's very neutral about.
Well, because
that.
he wants everyone to come in, and he meets a lot of people. So
But that's the way to do it for him
right.
in the morning show.
Yeah, but like you and Matt. Well, Matt doesn't do a local politics. He does.
We can't.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. It's tough because
people get mad.
They get mad,
and they regulate the.
And then you're gonna walk into them in the street at some point, and you're like, "This is weird," or you're asking them for money for
about that. Yeah.
For the toy drive or something, and it's like, well, you said this about me, so probably not, even though it's for the kids, but.
It was just easier with Matt not to talk about local politics
yep.
because when you start talking about it, it stirs people up in a way that you can talk about anything.
Right.
You know?
It's just easier. It's easier not to in your own. Like,
but for the morning show, it's a different type of program too.
No, we're just we're just having fun.
Used to have Nick Willard used to come on a lot.
We actually have him coming on Monday, I think.
Is he still the marshal?
I believe so.
Yeah, because a Democrat will probably be nominated, but it takes a while. It took him a year and a half before his nomination got through.
I believe so.
Yeah, but he's great.
Oh, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, smart, very well spoken.
Yeah, and he'll be at the toy drive, so good.
Oh,
guy.
excellent.
Yeah. I believe so. That's what he says, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, nothing bad. And again, I'm not really affiliated with any race, but I think he was a great guy. No complaints about Nick Willard whatsoever. And I would always call him U.S. Marshal Nick Willard. Like it's hard. It's like Mayor.
No, Marshal Willard.
Marshal Willard.
What's his first name? Nick. Marshal Nick.
Yeah, Marshal.
But no, it was Marshal Dillon. Joel used to be. Oh, you'd go to visit Joel. He'd be watching either Bonanza, which Bonanza was fine, but it was the lost episodes, these crappy episodes nobody wanted because like Haas is dead. And who wants to watch these, And he'd watch Gunsmoke, and it's like, oh my God, we'd be watching Gunsmoke in black and white, and there's Burt Reynolds as an Indian.
Yeah, that probably.
What do you call the guy that puts the blacksmith.
Oh, blacksmith.
Like, holy Christ! Look at the toupee on him then. But
Burt Reynolds.
I actually have I have a cup from the Bonanza Ranch in Nevada for Joel.
Oh yeah, for him.
Yeah.
You still have.
If my sister doesn't put it in her shop, she was.
Well, that's probably top dollar.
I don't think it is.
No.
it's still we're going through all sorts of stuff. It's still there, right? When you have a store that sells all, I would call it junk, but
no. One man's junk is another man's treasure.
Oh, Jesus! The one time, this was a few years ago, we had these old wooden basement windows. We replaced them with brand new. My brother and I, he was over the nylon, whatever. So then I threw them away. These old, old frame. It's all like crappy, the paint and everything. She comes, she doesn't swear or anything. She was so mad. I said, what are you talking about? It's just junk. She says, those are worth $50. I could sell it for $50. People paint them and put them on, they put painting on what's left of the glass.
Right.
They leave the old crappy frame and they put it on the wall. I said, yeah, sure. Because I'm the kid brother. I'm the kid brother. And she was like, she helped raise me. So I'm like this, yeah, sure, Debbie. So I'm sitting in the house at Christmas or Thanksgiving and just to needle her, I bring that up. Because, we're always talking about all the stuff she has. She's got all this stuff, and some of it we just think is junk. But then she'll get like $100 for this old toy or something.
And some people they have a vision.
I bring up about this. I threw away this old window. And she was so angry, and she's saying she could pay $50. And so her son-in-law, I'm at his house, looks at me, says, he has one in the living room. He had one of them. It's like, oh boy, I didn't come across well. I didn't lose. Not only did I lose any type of argument, because I was just trying to be funny, I was humiliated.
Yeah.
But, I'm used to that.
I mean, that's what the jokes are about, you know? You shoot your shot. Sometimes they don't stick. Sometimes they backfire on you.
But good God, yeah.
I never would assume that you could get $50 for an
old window.
I would never even consider saving it, to be honest. But people buy weird stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially there's all these websites where you can get creative and like the do-it-yourself stuff and make your own items. So like, who knows? People got a vision. They might pursue it. Me personally, I don't have that vision.
People were taking their checks from the. You could get those loans that were never to be repaid, and they were buying all sorts of crap on
whatever you want
on eBay and stuff. Some guy bought like $50,000. He got $50,000 for one of those loans from the COVID era, but they indicted him now because he bought like a sports, like a baseball card. How they found out, I don't know, but maybe they traced it through the loan.
It depends on who was on the card. That's pretty much.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be for him to do his business.
Oh, maybe it was a business loan.
Maybe his business does that stuff.
I got my don't go to work and we'll make sure you don't starve to death checks. That's what I got.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah.
Actually, it was fun. Working's not fun.
No. As I told you earlier, I'm considered unemployable.
Yeah, you did tell me that, which is unfortunate. I would employ you.
As what's they call it, a sous chef? Hey, Norm, how are you?
Just I don't know.
Come on in and apologize to you on the air.
Well, that's all right. Gonzo's gone. Hey, we're gonna want you on the show. We're gonna wrap up, anyways. We're gonna next in the December. Come on. Yeah.
When I want to apologize.
Yeah, that's fine, Norm. We'll talk about it. You have anything left to say?
No, I'm always happy to be here, John. How you doing, Norm?
Norm, if you want to, we have 3 minutes. If you want to sit down, but we might as well just wrap up. Oh, come on now.
Yeah, I just want to say I humbly apologize for.
I'm turning over the seat.
All right.
Jumping to conclusion.
Well, that's all right. I shouldn't have teased you.
Oh no, that's okay.
But it was making fun of
This is great.
I actually owe John and his guest from last week a big apology because I was very offended by the comment that was made
about our bear.
About the bear and putting a spell on him. We don't do that, and I was very offended by that.
There was a spell put on us?
Well, no, the spell became, it turned out that it had nothing to do with the spell. It turned out to be one of Elon Musk's robots.
They can't hear
And
you.
the comment that was made.
Now he's a beer drink. Look, he's a beer swilling patriot. Next week he'll have a MAGA hat on.
Yeah. When I found, so I called and I overreacted, so I want to apologize.
On the show, we're going to find out what happened to Bambi Woods. As well as Natalie Wood.
They're going to find her.
Okay.
And they're going to find her in the woods.
That's true. Natalie Woods and
This is
Bambi
incredible.
Woods. Okay, folks. We'll see you.
Sorry about
Hey,
the
it's
spell.
public TV.